Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Hello, dear fiends of the Den. I am the Gothic Rose, and as you know, here at the Dark Entertainment Network, this is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories. It makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. If you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Welcome back, dear fiends of the den, as we continue the haunted history of Hollywood. We are in the roaring 20s, and I've been talking about the star system created by the studio system, who created the lavender marriage to hide the sexuality of both male and female actors, because being LGBT back in the 1920s was highly unacceptable and would ruin careers. And what we know now is Rudolph Valentino was in some of those lavender marriages, and he has a very dark and paranormal tale that I am very excited to share with you today. I could not wait until spooky season. So, Rudolph Valentino, I specifically remember my grandmother telling me he was her favorite actor. Now, he was born May 6th, 1895, in Castellaneta, Italy, and passed away on August 23rd, 1926, in New York City at the age of 31. And his untimely death caused mass hysteria among his fans, cementing his status as a cultural icon of early Hollywood. So his films include The Sheik, 1921, and this film made Valentino a superstar, portraying him as the romantic desert sheik. The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, 1921, and this is a war drama that was a massive box office success. Blood and Sand, 1922, Valentino played a tragic bullfighter caught in a love triangle. The Eagle, 1925, a swashbuckling adventure where he played a Russian nobleman turned vigilante. And The Son of the Sheik, 1926, a sequel to The Sheik and one of his final films before his untimely death. So, as we know, the studio system in Hollywood was designed to work like a well oiled machine and pump out iconic stars. They chose image over talent. It was editing, it was directing. They could give them acting lessons, anything that they want. And they had a lot of members of the LGBT community. But because that was not accepted back in the 1920s, many of the studios hooked up these lavender marriages, which was a marriage of convenience. And this was to hide the true sexual orientation of a male or female due to societal pressures. So, one of the most famous examples was Rudolph Valentino. Now, he married Jean Acker in 1919, but the marriage was short lived. And Jean Acker reportedly locked Rudolph Valentino out of their hotel room on their wedding night, and they got divorced in 1923. And then later on, Rudolph Valentino married Natasha Rambova, another suspected lavender marriage, and that ended in 1925. So he just could not keep these marriages going. Now, just to let you know how terrible it was, and it still is, because we know that there are lavender marriages today in Hollywood. So the stigma is still there, but another notable case is the actor William Haynes. Have you heard of William Haynes? Not really, because he was very popular, but he refused to enter a lavender marriages, and this is despite all of the pressure from MGM Studios. Instead, he chose to stay with his male partner, Jimmy Shields, and that ultimately ended his Hollywood career. More on that. That's an episode in and of itself. And I'm honestly thinking a lot of these orchestrated marriages had to take its toll on you, but That's also the price of fame. So Rudolph Valentino chose to remain single, but still be the heartthrob and never let his sexuality truly be known. It leads you to wonder if all of this was a curse. Well, maybe, maybe not, because there are a lot of lavender marriages out there now as well. But Rudolph Valentino was one of Hollywood's first major heartthrobs. So the level of fame that he had in the 1920s, of course, came along the rumors and the speculation because it probably wasn't easy for him truly to hide who he was publicly. It's easy to hide on screen. So, some of the most persistent whispers about him included speculation about his sexuality, his relationships, and even these supernatural tales. So, I love when supernatural crosses over. This is such a good story. So, there was a ring that Rudolph Valentino owned, and it was known as the Destiny Ring, and it was said to be cursed. So, it was going to bring misfortune to anyone who wore it. And Rudolph Valentino reportedly fell ill very shortly after acquiring this ring. And several others who possessed the ring later after him met untimely deaths. So, this is a really weird story. So, in 1920, Rudolph Valentino was browsing a jewelry store in San Francisco when he became captivated with a plain silver ring with a semi precious stone. The shopkeeper warned him that the ring was cursed, but Valentino insisted on buying it. He wore it while filming The Young Raja, which turned out to be a box office failure, an unusual occurrence for the star. Later, Rudolph Valentino wore the ring again while promoting The Son of the Sheik. Shortly afterwards, he was hospitalized with a severe ulcer and died at just 31 years old. His sudden death fueled speculation that the ring was responsible. After Valentino's passing, the ring was passed to his close friend and actress Pola Negri, who immediately fell ill. Though she recovered, her Hollywood career never regained its former glory. She then gave the ring to singer Russ Columbo, who bore a striking resemblance to Valentino. Columbo died in a mysterious shooting accident not long after receiving the ring. The ring continued its ominous journey, eventually landing in the possession of Joe Casino, who was hit by a truck within a week of wearing it. His brother Del Casino inherited the ring but kept it locked away. However, when a thief stole it, the thief was shot and killed by police during his escape attempt. The ring was later retrieved by director Edward Small, who wanted to make a film about Valentino. He had actor Jack Dunn wear the ring for an audition. 2 weeks later, Dunn died of a rare blood disease. Today, the ring is reportedly locked away in a vault in Los Angeles, though some claim it has been stolen again. There are even whispers that Valentino's ghost still searches for it, hoping to destroy it once and for all. So, what do you think of this curse of Valentino? Do you think that he was drawn to this ring, or it was starting to find him years before when he entered these lavender marriages, when he essentially gave up everything he was for fame, and then he found this ring and that's what took him down? It reminds me of the opening of King Tut's tomb or the Hope Diamond. Amazing stories we'll have to get into here in the den. I really do love when the paranormal and Hollywood cross paths. And I am looking for more stories like this for spooky season. So feel free to contact me and let me know where I should look. And thank you so much for joining me in the den on this episode of The Haunted History of Hollywood. And if you have any tips to share, please email me at welcometothedenpodcast.com. If you'd like to be a guest, let me know. You just must be 21 and over. And my dear fiends of the den, if you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And thank you always for joining me here on the Dark Entertainment Network.